Alright guys, so today I decided to do a vlog about my recent surgery. I know some people don't really know why I got it, some people do, a lot of you do, but a lot of you have asked like what it's for, how it works, etc, etc. Well, basically in 2017 my seizures became really aggressive, and when I say really aggressive, I'm talking about like dislocating shoulders and falling to the floor and bruising my entire face, um, biting through my tongue almost completely in half. Um, they diagnosed me with a seizure disorder, put me on medication. Well, the medication, it didn't work. And as time went on, I kept having more seizures and more seizures and more seizures. And then in 2018, at UCLA is where I decided to pick up with my epilepsy journey. And since my seizures were becoming more and more frequent, after I was placed in 2 medical comas and in the ICU, I don't know, 18 to 20 times. I really honestly don't know how many times I was in the hospital. UCLA diagnosed me with epilepsy after having a video EEG, and they were able to detect the seizures through that, and they were able to detect that they were epileptic and that they were coming from my left temporal lobe. So after that, they continued up to my medications. They gave me more medications and more medications and more medications. And it got to the point where I was just taking so many medications that I literally couldn't function. And my life had just gone to hell. I couldn't get out of bed. I was tired. I was mean. I was angry. So after that, I got really tired of, number one, being on all these medications. Number two, not being able to function. Not being able to pretty much live my day-to-day life. I had to stop working. I had to stop driving. I could hardly be a mother or a wife. And it got to the point where my depression was so bad that there was days where I didn't want to live. And there were days that I didn't want to wake up sometimes because I knew when I woke up I was going to be in so much pain. And that the symptoms of all these medications, and not on top of that, just having epilepsy itself was, I mean, devastating to me as a 28-year-old, I think, then. And luckily Josh was able to get sorry for crying. So Josh was able to get humanitarian orders for us to come to Fort Worth because living in California, we had zero help. Josh couldn't fulfill his duties at work because I was so ill that I was in and out of the hospital, I mean, weekly, bi-weekly, twice a week, 3 times a week. Sometimes I was in the hospital for 10 days, I don't know. And so they placed us in Fort Worth so that we had family, which my family lives in Fort Worth, or Dallas-Fort Worth area. And we were able to find an epileptologist to work with, and we were able to get more studies done. I went to UT Southwestern, where I found out that I wasn't just having grand mal or tonic-clonic seizures. Some people call them one thing, some people call them the other. But I was also having complex partial seizures and absent seizures, which was something quite shocking for us because the only seizures I ever knew was the one where I was unconscious and I woke up on the floor, or I woke up laying in the middle of the living room while everybody was asleep and I was banging things against the wall to try to get somebody's attention. But all this time I was having these seizures that I really didn't know were seizures. They were just feelings that I was having that I couldn't really explain, and it's a very hard thing to explain. A lot of, for me, is you're there but you're not there. It's like the whole room is spinning around you, but you're sitting still, and you can't hear, and you can't think, and you can't speak. And I thought it was something, I don't know. I never knew what it was. I also would experience things where my hands and my feet would get like really numb and tingly, and it would start at my toes and my fingertips, and it would just work its way up my limbs, and my face would get really warm, and I would get this kind of like almost high sensation come over me, which again, I didn't know what they were. I was conscious, I was aware, I was here. Well, it turns out those were seizures the whole time, and UT Southwestern was able to determine that. So we found out my epilepsy was progressing, and it was far worse than we thought it was, and I was having way more seizures than we thought we were having. So me and my epileptologist, which is a doctor who specializes in people with epilepsy, we decided to go the route of getting a VNS, which is a vagus nerve stimulator. And basically what it is, it's like a pacemaker for the brain, and it's implanted into your chest. I don't know if you can really see it, but I have a scar right there from where they implanted it. And they wire up into your throat right here, where your vagus nerve is in your neck. And basically what it does is it detects when there's abnormalities or electrical changes in your brain, and it fires off a zap, or I don't really know what to call it. It fires off basically and stops your body from having the seizure. It also runs, and it does it by itself 30 seconds every 3 minutes. So after my 2-week post-op visit with my epileptologist, he was able to use a device that he held over my chest where my pacemaker or machine or whatever is, and he was able to tell me that with not the zaps that go off every 30 seconds, but on average daily, it's stopping 21 seizures a day. 21 seizures a day that this thing is detecting, and it's firing off for. I mean, and to me, like for me, like that was like, I didn't even know I was having that many seizures a day. I mean, but on average, that is what it's doing. That is what it's detecting. And the fact that it's able to do that in its own is just absolutely amazing. I'm slowly feeling like I'm getting my life back, and so when I was in there, because it's detecting so many seizures a day, he raised the voltage, which it's been rough. It's been really rough because it's painful, and your body gets used to it at some point, but it's very uncomfortable, and you can feel it, and you can't speak, and you can't talk, and you cough, and it is almost like, I'd say, comparison to being electrocuted is what it feels like. It goes away, and it calms down, and it gets better with time, and your body gets adjusted to it, but it's doing its job. So besides that, it also comes with these magnets. Well, these magnets stimulate the VNS if you wave it across your chest. So yeah, back to the magnets. Sorry, I keep having to pause it. I'm doing this on Snapchat, but so this is the device, and you wear it as a watch, and it's kind of looks like a Fitbit or like an Apple Watch or something, but it has nothing besides it's a magnet. Like it literally picks up like spoons and shit. But sorry, I didn't mean to cuss, but basically I don't want to do it because I'm not having an aura right now, and I'm not having a seizure, and it is very painful, so I'm not going to do it. But basically you swipe this across your chest, your incision 3 times, and it sends a voltage or a fire, a zap or whatever to your brain to stop the seizure. I've only had it now for 3.5 weeks, and I'm pretty impressed with the progress that I have made. The surgery itself was not very complicated. There wasn't too much. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's like an end-all be-all, if this is gonna be it, like if this is gonna be my saving grace. There's other options. There's brain surgery, which is something we were trying to kind of steer clear from. There's also a device that that's kind of the same, but you plant directly into your head. But the risks of that are very high. You also have to shave half your head, which to me isn't really that big of a deal. But the risk following is a lot more dangerous than what I had. And the recovery time is huge. And as a mom, I just don't have the time for that, especially with COVID and quarantine and all this stuff, homeschooling, whatever. So for us, this made the most sense for now. And I kind of think of it as like my little safety blanket. And I'm hoping that everything just keeps getting better. I've just been considering doing this just to maybe help out fellow epileptics, or just to kind of give you some insight to what's been going on in my life lately and what I've been dealing with for the past couple of years. I know some of you have questions and sometimes I don't have answers. I'm hoping I gain more knowledge as time goes on. And right now I'm just hoping for the best and that everything continues to work the way it's working, and I don't have to be miserable anymore, and I don't have to wake up not wanting to wake up, and that my life changes and that I get my life back. And that was my whole journey. That was my whole hope and dream of just wanting to be able to live again. And I'm getting there slowly. And as time goes on, we'll see. I go back in 2 months to get the new readings of what it is doing, and he'll be able to detect how many seizures I'm having, and he'll either raise it or keep it the same strength. And for right now, it's been a long journey. It's been a really long journey. It tore me apart. It tore my family apart. It has probably been one of the hardest things I've endured. And we're just happy to have some hope back, and we're happy to have some strength back, and we're happy to have some security, and finally feeling like we are back on the road of life, and getting my life back. That was my number one goal, is I wanted my life back. I wanted to be a happy, healthy 30-year-old, and we're getting there. So thank you for listening.